Ho, 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 Vern. Merry...
I thought you said this Vern was a friend of yours.
Oh, Vern's just like that. He'll do anything for a laugh. Come on.
Welcome back to Bad Movies Rule. It's time to slip the surly bonds of earth and dance the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Know what I mean?
Oh, Christmas tree, 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 oh, Christmas tree.
Can I ask you something?
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
Out of all the Ernest movies, you picked this one.
Yes!
I thought this was a podcast about why they rule.
Yeah, it is.
There's some bad movies are just bad movies.
Oh, this is good.
Well, I didn't think, again, the movies I don't expect to be polarizing are the ones that turn out to be the most. So I'm excited for today to see exactly how this is going to go, because we're talking about our very first Ernest movie of all time on Bad Movies Rule. We're talking about Ernest Saves Christmas, because it's Christmas time.
Yes.
As Joe was just singing. Well,
Ernest
spirit.
was singing that.
That's right. And I think
The Ernest rendition.
Yes.
I think that today is going to be a day that, I just want to preface this whole thing by saying we all love each other, and whatever happens over the next hour and 20 minutes.
This might be the episode I have to walk out.
Yeah. This
It might very well be.
I may come over the table and choke you.
Well, this morning,
To save lives, I shall maybe leave.
let me introduce you guys to who's here with us. As you heard the sultry tones of Joseph Gorotowski. He is with us this morning. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Also joining us today is Mr. Clint Bush. Clint,
What's going on, guys?
how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. It's
Yeah?
a little early for me here today, but, we'll survive it.
This is the earliest we've ever started.
Ever.
That seems like it's my fault.
So we gotta manufacture that energy today, boys.
Oh, I got it.
And also,
we had to, get up and unwrap the presents and whatnot.
well,
Of course we did.
you know what? That's not till next week, but I appreciate the try. Hey, you know what? What time is it out in Nebraska, Brady? Is it like
Next week.
it's like next week or something? I don't even want to hear about how early it is.
It's January.
Yeah, that's the time zone. It
That's
says
right.
Next week.
Brady Cox joining us from Nebraska. And then we've also got a surprise guest because he wasn't supposed to be here until I pressured him last night into coming. Bob Hauser's with us. Bob.
Yay, Bob Hauser's here.
Yay.
Hi, Bob.
Bob was at my house last night, and I said, hey, man, we're recording tomorrow. And I found out he wasn't working, and I just basically forced him to be here.
Yes, you were like, all right, you're going to go watch this movie.
Literally on the spot.
Yeah.
I
think we started it, and
We
then
did.
3 people passed out in the living room.
Yeah, our families were not interested.
No.
And so, here
I
we
had
are.
a similar experience.
Yeah. My daughter found it funny the moments that she watched last night. She
Oh,
did
good.
find it funny.
Your family enjoyed it?
Yes.
Okay,
We
good.
actually sat down last night and we all watched it.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's get the vitals out of the way. I appreciate everybody that's at home listening. It's almost Christmas, so this is our second Christmas episode in a row. We only really got to do 2 Christmas movies, right? We did Jingle All the Way last week, and then this week, and then Christmas is going to be here before you know it. And so the backlog for next Christmas is already pretty thick. There's a lot of ones we wanted to get to and didn't get to, so maybe we'll do 3 or 4 the entire month of December next year. We'll get some more in there, but. Ernest Loves Christmas was made in 1988. So this movie would have came out, guys, when we were about 9 years old.
Is it Ernest Saves Christmas?
What did I say?
Save
Ernest
us.
loves Christmas.
Wow.
I
I
do
told
believe-
you it was really early, right?
I do believe that Ernest did love Christmas.
He did
Yes.
love Christmas.
He did.
It's a working
did.
title.
Sorry,
Don't
not to
change
correct
that.
you. I just
He also saved Christmas. It's the only reason we still celebrate Christmas today is because of this man. The movie was directed by John Cherry, who did really nothing else other than direct Ernest movies.
Yep.
I totally get that.
He was a friend of his. I'm thinking they actually got started in commercials together, but he directed this. It was written by Ed Turner and B. Klein. So on IMDb, the guy doesn't even get a first name. It's just B, his first initial.
It could be on his driver's license that way.
It could be. He wrote nothing else. This was the only thing he ever wrote. The other writer, Ed Turner, the only other writing credit to his name is that motocross movie we're going to talk about at some point, Winners Take All.
Really?
Yep.
I'm less excited about that.
And the movie starred Jim Varney, Doug Seal, Noel Parker, and Oliver Clark. You cannot call this movie a box office bomb because it made $29 million off of a budget of only $6 million. Mm-hmm. And this is the reason why over course of like late 80s, early 90s, they were just pumping out Ernest movies like every couple years because it was making money.
Yeah.
They were making a lot of money.
I would say this was like right in the prime
on a low budget
peak. Yeah, on a low budget, which the studio is great. Like, how much money do you need? There's like no CGI or special effects or any of that stuff in these types of movies.
Very minimal.
Yeah, minimal compared to most.
I don't think reindeer actually are real.
Right, but I think they just were,
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they used real reindeer.
using real flying
mind.
reindeer. That's how they got
actually
around
had
that.
that.
Yeah.
It helps the budget.
So the reason we're talking about it is not because it's a box office bomb. It's just very poorly rated. So it's currently a 5.7.
It's poorly rated in this room.
Hold
We'll
on.
see. We're going to find out how high it's rated. 5.7 on IMDb, which is only 0.2 under Air America, which is really weird. 5.7.
Which was fantastic, by the way. Love that.
36% currently on Rotten Tomatoes and only 42%, slightly higher for the audience score. But both certainly in the rotten territory. So I feel I've already gotten an impression just from the discussion that's already happened and where everybody falls on Ernest Saves Christmas. But
I don't know about Bob yet.
we don't know. But
You got a poker face over here.
we're going to start with Clint.
Oh, boy.
Clint, from an overall sense, what's your view of this movie?
I made it 42 years, 8 months, and like 3.5 weeks without ever seeing an Ernest movie ever.
Look how you turned out.
My life is just absolutely worse for it. I can't fathom this.
It's worse now that you've seen one?
Now that I've seen it,
Got
because
it.
I legitimately I wanted to see these when I was a kid, and my dad said no. Now this is one more time I have to say, damn, that man was right. My whole life he's been right the whole time, and this is just another one piled on to the top of the mountain of
I pity you.
I thought he was wrong.
I don't know how that's
he wasn't.
possible. How have you never seen an Ernest movie?
My dad said they sucked, so we never watched
So,
any.
but even once you got into your own, place,
well, they were over already by the time that it's like.
Well, I guess.
I feel like these were absolutely kid things. Like for 100%, these were kids wanted to see them, drug parents to them. I never got to see them, and now that I have as a parent, adult age, man, what a steamer.
Okay.
So if you guys rated it a 10 and a 10 and a 10, that's 30. I'm rating it at a negative 50. Oh, sorry, Brady as well. This is still a negative 10 movie. No good.
I don't know. We'll see where. Joe, how about you, brother?
Remind you that I love you all.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know. I haven't.
Nothing. It's not personal.
Still
opinions
sitting
can
here, and I
differ.
haven't
This
reached
is not
over the table
personal.
and choked you out yet.
Right.
Yeah.
This, much like all Ernest movies, it is a type of humor that you just kind of have to get used to.
This was humor?
Yes.
Oh.
This type of humor, it's one of those things you just
So it's an acquired taste, like
exactly.
beer.
It's an acquired taste.
Something else I've never
Absolutely.
tried.
Yeah.
All right.
On that note, I acquired the taste. That sounds really weird. A long time ago. This is one of the movies that my family kind of grew up on. Like everybody has that one Christmas movie that they all loved to watch together when they were children.
We can't use words like everybody.
Guess
and nobody.
what? This is the one that's part of my family's history.
All right.
So, just let you know,
I get that.
So for you,
this is very near and dear to my heart.
So we're going to go back to this is something for poor people Christmas then.
You are actually right.
All right.
I was very poor when I grew up. So yes,
all right, Bob. How about you, man? What's your general impression of this movie?
Bob.
I loved it.
Sitting right here.
You love it.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
grew up
Lies
on,
and slander.
I grew up on Jim Varney.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jim Varney's the OG. So
He is.
He is.
R.I.P. to Jim Varney, but he is great.
Yeah. I wish he was still around.
Absolutely. But my favorite Ernest movie is obviously Scared Stupid.
Yeah. So I agree.
Yeah.
And next Halloween, we are definitely going to do Ernest Scared Stupid.
And Goes
Is
to
it
Jail
possible
great.
that some of these other movies are actually good and funny?
Okay, so Go to
I just
Jail.
hate this one.
Go to Jail and Scared Stupid are probably the best in the series.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all of them are great.
No, but there was that 4-movie
It was
arc.
the 4-movie arc, which was Saves Christmas, Ernest Goes to Camp, Jail, and Scared Stupid. After that, they really gotten
Right. Once it was Ernest Rides Again, it started to really kind of go downhill. And then
Ernest
goes
Ernest
to
in the
Africa.
goes to Africa. Ernest Slam Dunk. Ernest in the Army. all
Yeah,
that,
those were kind of like
those are the straight to DVD. But the first 4 theatrical releases were really entertaining.
Yeah.
So I would give this movie a thumbs up.
All right. Brady, how about you? How do you feel about Mr. Ernest P Worrell Saving Christmas?
You know, if I were to try to create a more perfect universe, there would be a Pee Wee Herman Ernest crossover movie. And Chuck and Bobby would have their own series of some sort.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
What's a Chuck and Bobby?
What is a Chuck and Bobby were the two guys working in shipping and customs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the
with the reindeer.
I didn't know if it was somebody else we were supposed to know about, but yes.
No,
gotcha.
no.
Chuck and Bobby are a staple in the Ernest movies.
Yeah.
They're all like in every single one of them.
So look, I'll admit when you drafted this movie, Joe, I hadn't seen. I'd gone back to some of the other Ernest movies more recently.
Yeah,
like Bob said, like Scared Stupid and Goes to Jail. And I used to watch Ernest Saves Christmas every year when I was a kid. I loved this movie, but it had been such a long time that I'd seen it that I said, I feel like he picked the worst of the 4. Just talking about those main 4, right?
Yeah.
But then in going back and watching it, I totally forgot how much I loved this movie.
There were so many great moments.
It's one of my favorite
one.
Christmas movies of all time.
The only one
It's
that I
got
thought was
heart.
funny.
It's got joy.
Quiet, Clint.
This movie loves Christmas.
Yes.
It's funny. I feel like it moves just like at a cracking pace. Like it's just,
It's well written.
Yeah.
Well directed. There's a lot of good acting in it.
Absolutely.
Everyone's bringing their A
It's
game.
prime Ernest. It's prime Ernest. Right in his prime.
And that's the thing about Jim Varney is he made you believe in that he was Ernest. He embodied that character and ran with it, and that's really awesome.
I see Clint looking around the room in a very confused.
I feel like I don't need this microphone for anything.
Hold on a second, Clint.
This thing is useless to me today.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay,
I could swing it around the room, maybe.
Okay, when we say this is probably the greatest thing, the acting was fantastic.
Yeah.
We are kind of grading on a curve.
Yes.
And with Ernest in it, I mean, you get what you get with an Ernest movie, but that's what makes it endearing.
Right. I understand where you're coming from because you sent me a text during the week. You're like, this guy is such an over actor, right? And I think my response was, well, he's Ernest, right? I mean, that's just his whole shtick.
Okay.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, when you have to kind of know what you're getting into when you watch an Ernest movie.
I mean,
Jim Varney was the Bruce Campbell of comedy.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell was to Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Like that type of comedy where you're just overselling facial expressions and just in your face 5,000 miles an hour.
100%. 100%. So, I think you need that microphone today because as the only person that has, a negative opinion of the movie, we need you to,
I
you
liked
need to
it
ground
better
us.
when I had no opinion of this movie. I legitimately think I could have listened to this episode more and enjoyed the movie through you guys talking about how great it was, having never seen it. Now I just think you're all idiots.
Well, how has that changed? How has that changed?
Well, no, before I thought it, now I'm more leaning towards the sure of it.
Okay, how many movies have we recorded together?
A lot.
At least 5 with you.
Yes.
And this is where you draw the line?
So Suburban Commando.
Fantastic film. Cinematic masterpiece.
Megaforce.
Oh, dude, the way better than I will watch Megaforce. I guaranteed more in my life because I vowed to play it on
Cotta?
Oh, God.
Come on.
Dude, that pommel horse scene just blew
I
my
just
mind.
watched the remake with Stewie last night. The Stewie.
It's great.
Did you know that?
Was awesome.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
stuff.
Well, look, guys, let's jump into this movie because we've got a lot to go through and just a little bit of time to do it. And I want to say this. I think the premise of this movie is really smart for an Ernest movie. This idea of you've got maybe smart's not the right word. It's original. Okay. Yeah. You've got a senile Santa Claus essentially who's starting to
lose his
faculties and his magic and his memory and all of these things, coming to Orlando, Florida to pass on the Santa Claus mantle
The
to
torch.
another person, the torch, as he puts it, right? And that's kind of the premise of the main thrust of the movie, that Santa is here to pass off being Santa Claus to somebody else. And so he has to find this person, convince this person by 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve, because of the longitude that they're leaving from. He's got to leave by 7 o'clock. That's the reason they give in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's essentially it. And then Ernest just kind of is one of those guys that just happens to get caught up in the whole thing because, he catches a cab from him early in the movie.
Yep.
And that's essentially it. That's the plot of the movie.
Of course, this whole movie could be solved if Santa just came in a day early.
Yeah, like why not come in like December 15th?
Yeah.
He got laid over in Denver.
We don't need to hear about his personal life.
No.
I'm just telling you, man. Santa's got issues.
He does, but he's a sweet guy, played by Doug Seal in this movie. Doug Seal's got a pretty weird career in that. If you go look at his filmography, he was in a bunch of stuff in like the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
And then nothing again until the 1980s. He took a 34-year break from film, went and directed and did a lot of theater in England, and was, well known in that part of the world for his theatrics, and then just dove back into performing himself in the 80s and did a bunch of stuff in the 80s before sadly passing away at towards the end of the 90s. But Doug Seal played Santa Claus really well, I thought. I don't know what you guys thought of Doug.
He's no Tim Allen.
I was thinking that. Man, Tim Allen.
Good.
You can't beat
Great
Tim
Santa
Allen.
Claus.
Yeah.
This brings up a point.
Yeah.
We shouldn't do it now because we don't have the paper or the methods to do it.
The crayons.
The crayons. But where on the list of great Santas do you think, like, if you had to make a list of some of the greatest Santas played on TV or movies, like, what's your top three?
Kurt Russell, Tim Allen, Mel Gibson.
Well, see, I've never seen the Mel Gibson one. Fat Man is what you're referencing, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard because all of those movies are trying to accomplish different things, right? So you've got, like, let's say, Ed Asner in Elf, who's kind of a surly, grumpy, version of Santa Claus, and then you've got Tim Allen, which is, playing straight for comedy, or you've got the old man. I can't remember the actor's name, so I'm sorry, that played him in Miracle on 34th Street, which is very sweet, kind-hearted type of Santa.
Are we talking about the Richard Attenborough one or the original?
No, I'm talking about the original.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Attenborough did good, too. So it's really hard to do. I would say in the vein of the really kind, sweet-hearted Santa, he's right up there with Miracle on 34th Street Santa.
I agree.
Asner, Kurt Russell, Tim Allen, those are more like comedy versions of Santa Claus, which I think you almost have to separate. But I thought Doug Seal was one of the best of all time.
Kurt Russell, I do have to say.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Kurt Russell is the new Santa of this generation.
But I will say this. Clint, do you have a top three Santas?
I don't know that I could.
I don't think
name
Clint wants to be
three
here right
Christmas movies with a Santa Claus that I watch. My favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. I was just not a huge
Christmas guy.
guy.
Okay.
Brady, how about you?
I mean, I'm huge.
I would say my favorite Santa is the one from Christmas Story.
Oh, the mall Santa, yeah.
Just shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's great. I think he's the scariest Santa, too, also.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, but maybe Nightmare Before Christmas has a scarier one, but
that's true.
Oh, I don't think the Santa Claus was scary in Nightmare Before Christmas. The Boogie Woogie Man was.
Yeah.
What about Lee
Boogie
Majors?
Woogie Man was, yes.
Was Lee Majors Santa?
I think was he Santa in the movie Scrooge?
No, he saved Santa,
He
right?
saved Santa.
He shows up and they have that big gunfight, and Santa, he goes, Lee Majors, like, we got to get you out of here. Santa's like, this is one Santa who's going through the front door. And they, a bunch of terrorists try to take out the North Pole.
How come
What a great movie that is.
I will say this though, in your defense or your stance on Ernest Saves Christmas, the worst Santa is in Ernest Saves Christmas, as in Joe. I think they could have gotten anybody else.
As good as Doug was, Joe was as bad, is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
A little
the
yin and
character
yang.
Joe, he was the worst Santa.
Well,
So they had an average Santa portrayal
I
throughout this
hated
movie.
that. That's the only part.
He was
about
only
this movie
Santa
I
for
hated.
30 seconds.
right.
Ruined it.
And he got all the work in he could in that 30 seconds to prove how bad he is.
I thought you
That's
had
true.
to
All right. Well, as Santa comes to town, and meets a very nice businessman in the airport. It's intercut with us being introduced to the hero of the film, which is Ernest P Worrell. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ernest P Worrell was a character that started off in commercials, famously, all over the country. If you go back, there's compilations you can find on YouTube. I mean, he advertised for everything.
50 commercials, minimum,
from Sprite to Taco Bell to
some car dealerships and
all over the place.
Yeah. How can I have zero recollection of this?
And so he's what I would say is the original viral star. Okay, this is before you could go viral on YouTube or anything like that. Yeah. People loved this character so much that every company started hiring him to do commercials. Yeah. And how popular of a character do you have to be able to make the jump from commercials to feature films? That's what this guy was able to pull off. That's how much everybody loved this character just from seeing him for 30 seconds at a clip on television, right? And this was his, and then Ernest Goes to Camp was his first one, so this was the second one. But it's really, really impressive. But that's just the genesis of where this character started from. Yep. And so we see him, and he's driving a cab with the sweatiest passenger of all time.
Oh, looks like a mobster.
The guy, wait, I think it's the guy from Indiana Jones.
Is
Last Crusade?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, with the guy with the glasses.
Email Slater?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that guy.
I noticed that as a theme though throughout the movie. Everybody's very sweaty in this picture.
Everybody's
It's
sweaty.
Orlando.
It's Orlando.
I know, but they weren't shooting anywhere where there was air conditioning.
Nope.
Or
$6 million budget, dude. They couldn't also afford air conditioning.
They had heaters on.
And it looked like they were running heaters.
Yeah.
Somebody get a powder guy in there to powder some. I mean, everyone's all shiny.
Everybody.
And it was like, bro, did you hire a makeup artist for this movie?
I believe that was in Florida.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was in Florida. Right. No, with the sweatiness. I've been to Florida, and I was shiny the whole time.
And you say this is a kid's movie, okay?
And I say that I think kids would enjoy it and drag their families to it. I don't think full-grown adults go and see this having never seen it.
Then why is Ernest Cab number 69?
Have you ever watched any of the kids' movies that we watch on Disney?
Do you remember Rad?
Yes.
I mean, what they pulled off at a PG movie with Rad.
I know. The ass sliding?
Yeah, the ass sliding, the swear words.
Oh, I know.
Over sexual.
Well, even in like Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and stuff, there was a lot of cursing that you don't realize back then. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a PG movie. Yeah, but we're introduced to Ernest, who's, I think, one of his best qualities as a comedian for Jim Varney was his physicality. And so that's on full display here. We basically launches this guy out of the side of his cab. Okay.
True story.
Goes over and just deadlifts him. He's like, rigor mortis has already said. I don't know if he's dead or what, but he's still in the seated position out in the grass. Deadlifts him back into the car.
Crab walks him back.
Then they get air at the airport. Like, I don't know what, he drove over a ramp or something at the airport.
Yeah.
Like rocket propelled,
yeah. Fireworks go off underneath the cab.
A little too early,
right into it.
That's
because it was supposed to go off when it hit the ground.
No.
Smashes right into a parking spot, then launches the guy onto a conveyor belt.
Yeah, but also destroys a couple people's luggage.
Right.
And so the running theme in any Ernest movie is he just leaves. He's meaning well in everything he does, but he leaves a trail of destruction in his path.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
And so after throwing the guy and his clothes and everything down the
conveyor
belt,
everything,
he gets chased by these guys that
Clint is just sitting over here.
You guys are not wrong. You are going through the movie.
You didn't think this was funny?
There was no humor.
You didn't think that was funny?
Any of this.
You didn't find anything? Why?
I don't know.
Just
do not have a soul.
He's such a talented physical comedian. Even just him ripping the stuff out of the trunk,
the bag,
and just getting it all over the place, and he's kicking some of it underneath the trunk.
If any other actor was doing this movie, they would have to do multiple takes. I got a good feeling that Jim Varney did this in like 1 or 2 takes without breaking character. He just believed that he
could do it live. Brady, have you ever seen the show Hee Haw back in the day?
I remember it.
Yeah,
I remember it.
Yeah.
It's basically like it was like a laugh-in sketch comedy show, but it was like the redneck version of that, right?
Very much.
And so if you look, there's like a 5-6 minute clip, a little compilation of Jim Varney on Hee Haw in 1985, just a few years before this. And he was playing so many different characters, and he was doing this live, and he's just the best person on the screen, just crushing everybody. The guy was incredibly talented as a comedian. I bring that all up to say you're probably right. I guarantee you, I don't think they were having to do 40 takes to find something funny.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Saves on film.
No.
So Santa Claus, as he's running away from these guys, Santa Claus ends up, getting into his, I'm a cab. And Santa gets thrown into, Ernest's cab, and off they ride. This is how the two of them
Cab number 69.
throw Santa into cab 69, and they're on their way.
That one once.
What's that?
I saw that one once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a different movie.
It was a different movie. And so we're introduced, and this is, I think, the first scene we really get to see how much Ernest loves Christmas, right? We're driving down the street with Santa, and he is not only telling him that he loves Christmas, but...
Like, you didn't realize he loved Christmas with the original cab fare, with all the Christmas decorations all over the inside of the cab?
You're right. That's our first clue, but then this is the first time he's really starts to verbalize it, right?
My, my son asked me when we were watching it last. I don't know if you heard him. Why is there a snow globe out of his driver?
That's right.
Steering wheel.
On a steering wheel. It's
I had the same question.
because he loves Christmas, and he says as much to Santa, right? He's like, I think Christmas is just about my favorite time of year.
You know what I mean?
Know what I mean? And
why is there not alcohol?
he literally, Clint,
Why is
he
know what I
drives in reverse down the expressway
Right.
with his flashers on,
Right.
to save a Christmas tree
True.
that's not alive.
Right. Well, yeah.
Hold on, little tree.
Oh, well, that's what I do. Just going to reverse with my emergency flashers.
That's right.
Right. You don't want to cause chaos.
Yeah, that's what I do in my work truck. I lose furniture. I just throw it on the middle of the highway and just starts backing up on the street.
Don't worry, I'm a
Don't
professional.
worry, I can't see anything.
When you lose something off the back of
I
your
lose
truck.
a nightstand or a mattress. I go, hold on 1 second, throw
Yeah.
my emergency flashers on, start beep, 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 beep.
I did like seeing all the 80s cars trying to veer and crash out of the way.
The most entertaining part of the movie for me was the vehicles. They
lot of 80s vehicles, yeah.
They actually claimed 2 of my top 3 performers.
Oh, okay, nice.
Wow.
Nice. Hopefully we can change your mind
Next
by
to
the
the
time we
dump
get
truck.
there.
I don't think we're going to change.
Oh, and note for younger folks, Eastern Airlines actually existed. So
It did.
Look
Yeah.
that up and
Yeah.
look that up.
That wasn't just a fake thing for a movie.
Someone fix Brady.
No.
He's slanted.
No, yeah, Brady's getting slanted. It's okay.
Brady's falling down.
Mhm.
As Santa tells Ernest at this moment that he's Santa Claus, and Ernest,
Instantly believes him.
instantly believes him because he's just got the biggest heart in the world. It's intercut with we're introduced to this girl who is dining and ditching. Okay. And we were told her name is Harmony Star.
The cliche 80s
Yes.
girl.
Teen vagabond
Teen
on
vagabond
the run.
with the Boston accent.
But
Right.
she's from Indianapolis.
But she's from Indiana. Right?
Yeah. She's from Indiana.
Right.
Now in Florida.
Now in Florida. And this is a theme you'll see throughout Ernest movies, not so much in Ernest Goes to Jail, but in all the other ones. He's generally hanging around with kids,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Ernest
Well,
goes
the
to
way you
camp.
sound, the way you
Weird.
put that sounds like he's like generally hanging around.
No, but he is. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever a hint of anything weird
No.
in any of these
No,
movies
no,
because
no.
Ernest is kind of just like a big kid
he's a guy
himself.
yeah.
And he, in camp, he's around the campers the whole time.
Yep.
He's with this girl this whole movie. Ernest Scared Stupid. He's got his 2 friends that are basically, the same age.
Yeah.
These kids. And he just works really, really well off of children.
As you were saying, his mannerisms, his physicality, he's basically a walking human cartoon. They can cast him to do whatever he needs to with his face,
Yes.
Exactly.
his range of
Now
motion.
you're
everything.
getting it.
I
Now
get
you're
it.
getting
I
it.
understand. I don't
You just
see
don't
the
like it.
humor. This is a comedy. It said so.
Watch
It
it
is.
intoxicated. You might feel better.
She jumps into Ernest's cab. Now imagine this. You just jump into the most insane cab of all time,
Cab
Yeah.
number
Okay.
69.
where you've got a guy who says he's Santa Claus and Ernest driving it.
Yep.
The reaction
She
of
jumps
when-
into the
when-
front seat as well. Right.
Yeah.
That's how you enter cabs.
Yeah.
Right.
She turns around and Santa's like, I'm Santa Claus. And then Ernest just looks over and just gives her that.
Surprised?
Yeah, that huge grin. Like, oh.
Like, maybe you want to get out.
I think, yeah. Tuck and roll.
Tuck and roll. I don't know. It's better to take your chances with the guy, with the restaurateur.
Yeah.
But but this is essentially bringing all of the pieces together. There's one more person that the film has to yet introduced, but these are our main players that are going to be our unlikely group of heroes, our band of heroes for the movie. The other person we're introduced to is Joe, the person you brought up, right? Yeah. Who is a former children's TV star, right? I guess they're trying to say he's like a Mr. Rogers, right? He has a local, television show.
Yes, I think he was definitely inspired by the whole Mr. Rogers thing, like.
Right.
Yeah, but he was no Mr. Rogers. But
no, I'm not going to put him in the same class. But that's essentially what the movie is trying to do. Is to say this guy was the. His you didn't like his puppetry?
No. This puppetry, his explanation of why the dinosaurs,
his ventriloquism,
died.
Yes,
was spot on.
So you're saying
you can have all the criticisms you want about Joe, and no one's going to fight with you.
No.
So you're saying a flaming dumpster had better enthusiasm than Joe did.
I know.
Joe. All right, Oliver Clark.
Or maybe
we're sorry if you're listening to this.
This is not your best movie, Oliver Clark.
This is our second Oliver Clark movie that we've ever done.
What else was he in?
He was in Mystery Men.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. He was at the bad guy
audition
tryouts, but he never got up. They cut his part when he got up to the table, but he's right behind the person that's going like 4 times. You can see him. I went back and watched that after I saw he was in it, like on YouTube, and I'm like, yep, there he is in the background of almost every shot of the audition sequence, but he never got up. Well, I'm sure he did, but they must have cut it out.
Right.
But his title was the reverse psychologist.
That's awesome.
So I can only imagine he went up to the table and was like, I don't want to be in your superhero group.
That's exactly what he did.
Probably. But that was him. That was him. And then he's got his slime ball agent too. This guy,
the Rob Lowe,
Marty,
with a lazy eye.
Did you notice that too? Oh my god!
Jeez, guys.
Nobody didn't notice that.
I had I'm like, what? This guy? What's wrong with that guy's eye? Oh, okay, I get what's going on.
You've seen him before. He's from your favorite Christmas movie, Clint. The guy that played Marty, the sleazeball agent.
Okay.
The guy that I'm like, why is this guy in Orlando, Florida? He's like Mr. LA. He comes out of the jingle bells, checkbook swells, big deals on the way.
Hey, he throws his keys at a mailman.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Just set the scene. We know.
It's like, okay, how are we going to get this guy out of this car? And within 2 seconds, everybody knows he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Easy.
We're going to have him sing a song
about making money.
And throw his keys at a mailman.
Tell him to go park it.
That's right.
Tell him to go park it.
He was in Die Hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the fist with your toes guy on the airplane.
Did he have a lazy eye then?
This was literally the same year, 1988. Both of these movies came out.
Wow.
Do you think he just did the lazy eye just for this role?
I mean, if you hit someone upside the head hard enough, they might go back.
He was on the airplane at the beginning with Bruce Willis and told him to make fists with your toes. And that's the same.
You're telling me the hand smacking someone inside the head doesn't knock your eyeball back in place?
It could. I'm just saying. Never mind.
It's a huge year for that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was his whole career. Ernest Saves Christmas and Die Hard, right here.
Wow.
His name, Robert Lesser.
Yeah.
So good job, Robert. We all hated you, which is, I think, what you wanted.
Yeah.
And this guy, if it wasn't enough, he gets there and realizes Santa's there to, try and pull. He's somebody trying to pull, attention from his client.
Yeah.
He has the police come and arrest Santa Claus. Like on your bad guy resume, not a lot of people have got Santa Claus thrown in jail.
Yeah.
As an item, a bullet point on their bad guy resume.
Wasn't this actor also in that show with like going around the world with eating food, and he was a chef and such?
Anthony Bourdain?
Yeah.
No, this is not the same guy.
Oh, never mind.
No.
I'm sorry.
Do you think they look alike?
Robert the Greater.
Right.
I got confused. I'm not quite sure.
No, it's all good. And the last 2 characters we haven't introduced is Chuck and Bobby.
Hey, Chuck and Bobby.
Right. Chuck and Bobby.
Chuck and Bobby. This Chuck played by, I'm always going to say his name right. Gaylord. How do you say his last name? Hold on. I got it. No, I got it right here. You don't have to look it up. It's Gaylord Sartain is the guy that plays Chuck, who is in every Ernest movie. Bobby wasn't in the first one. He wasn't in Goes to Camp, but he was in. Bobby started with this movie and was in all the rest of them. But these 2 together are as iconic as Ernest himself.
They're a staple in the Ernest movies.
They're a staple in these Ernest movies.
That's a Bud Abbott and Lou Costello right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Chuck and Bobby.
Love Bobby.
So you said, Brady.
Chuck has a much better career.
Yes. Well, he was Chuck. The guy who played Chuck Gaylord was in The Replacements too. He was the assistant coach to Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
What did you said, Brady, that they should have had their own series? What is it you love so much about Chuck and Bobby?
First off, let's be honest. It's funny that a comic show has comic relief. But these guys are great comic relief, and they're just, you wouldn't want a full half-hour show with just these guys.
Right.
But, cutting between different things would be great.
I think they're in there just enough. Every 10 minutes or so, while you're setting up another scene, you just cut to them for literally 45 seconds. He gets to make a joke about how they're Latvian goats. Or
right.
Whatever.
I think the best part
is
when
slapstick, just classic, buddy comedy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like when the animal control showed up. I think that was the best joke. Right?
You're going to need air traffic control.
That's right.
No, exactly. Them just sitting back there and just kind of going.
This is what's great about his performance, and he's actually a really great actor. The guy who plays Chuck.
Yeah. He's
so effortless in everything he's doing, right? You can't tell he's natural. You can't tell, you can't see the wheels turning behind, the acting.
No.
And that's great. He's great in this movie. But they're not Latvian goats or aliens or any of the other things that they think they are. The reindeer have essentially been shipped through customs. Again, why do you have to mail the reindeer?
Why, if you have a sleigh, do you fly on an airplane?
Well, that's
flying reindeer. There's obviously magic involved.
Why do Russian spies not arrive in a parade float with flying Russian banners and flags everywhere?
Yeah, it would be a whole lot easier. You're right. That would be awesome.
Right?
That'd be better.
Because he's trying to be incognito, Clint.
Yeah. Later in the movie,
he told everybody he was Santa Claus. He's not trying to be incognito.
Damn it, you got us on that one. You're right.
All right, that's true.
But if they flew in, I mean, they literally scrambled jets.
NORAD did. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
NORAD tracks Santa Claus every year. You expect me to believe that they scrambled jets because they saw a reindeer? They know about this every year. They plan for it.
But they know about it on Christmas.
That's right.
Day.
He was not scheduled to be there.
Not scheduled to be there.
That's right.
It was a terrorist attack.
They thought,
how dare you?
Orlando was under attack.
Yeah.
All right. So from this point on, this is actually the only time in all of the Ernest movies. So Ernest is famous from his commercials, right? We established that. And in those commercials, he's usually talking to an invisible friend named Vern.
Which is supposed to be the audience.
Right. Vern is the audience.
Hey, Vern.
And because he's always going straight to camera with it. Right. Yeah.
Rachel wanted to know who in the blue hell was Vern. And this is one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie.
Vern is nobody and everybody.
I know. When we got back to the house, Rachel was watching this scene.
Yeah.
And we're just,
ho, 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 Vern. Boom. Door slams.
Vern used to have a nice place, too.
Because I forgot. He just barrels in with a Christmas tree and destroys everything.
Well, this is why he gets the door slammed in his face, because Ernest would be the best and worst friend to have.
Yeah.
Right? Because Ernest would be there for you at all times, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Loyal friend.
Yes.
But he also unknowingly would destroy your house.
Yeah.
Every time he came over.
But Clint, Vern,
if you have extension cords a half-inch deep through the plaster in your house, you deserve to have it destroyed.
He like those bacon cheeseburgers around the pictures.
He busts in with this Christmas tree. He's knocking all of Vern's knickknacks off of the walls.
Just destroying everything.
He does this thing with Ernest that he does all the time where he suddenly gets very dramatic and breaks into like a very serious tone, which is one of my favorite things that he does. He's like, I got this friend with me who I'm just, she's on her own. I'm trying to help her. As the twig is bent, so grows the tree. Right? And he does that all the time. It's hysterical to me. And he's
pull a punch.
I know who's gonna pull a punch.
Yeah. He just picks it up.
Well, because he's setting up a party.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes,
Yeah,
this
Vern was going to have a party.
The perfect encapsulation of why, at least for me, I love Ernest so much. Okay, it happens in this scene because he has such a joy for life and for the little things, and the people that really enjoy life enjoy the little things. And he's like, oh, I love parties, finger sandwiches, bean dip, cheese balls. Right? I mean, he literally gets excited about the little things in life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is, for me personally, why he's so endearing and why I love him so much. Now, while he's doing that, he is like allowing the tree to fall down on himself and break apart. And yes,
he tries to stand up a tree. The tops of Christmas trees are pretty pliable. This tree is only about 8 inches too tall for the room, and he is struggling hard to get this thing vertical.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has it set on top of the TV.
Yeah.
But you see, Clint, it wasn't actually difficult. It's acting.
Yes.
Oh.
Acting.
That's why.
He does pull his wall socket out of the wall and through the drywall.
Right.
But I don't think that's how houses are wired.
I do not believe
No,
that's
not
code.
No, at all.
I mean, we're not in Florida. They could do it different.
There's a lot of weird crap.
It is Florida. That's true.
That's hurricane repair.
That's true.
But you know who Vern is, though, right? Clint?
You're Vern.
No, but do you understand
I'm
what
Vern.
from the commercial? Okay, little quick backstory on Vern. Vern is basically the audience,
Right?
So
right.
Ernest is playing to the audience. So instead of just playing to the audience,
He wrecked our house. And our party. Right.
He wrecked your life. He instead of playing to the
ruined
audience,
my hour and a half. Anyway,
he played to a fake character named Vern.
Right.
So that goes back to
Right,
the
because he didn't know my name was
Bacon
Clint.
cheeseburgers.
Yes, you didn't know your name was Clint.
Right.
He eventually, as he's pulling the cord and the chandelier is going up and down.
Right.
As he's pulling the cord, he goes, I know, bolt cutters. You got to change the locks, Vern. Right? Or keep your door locked.
He javelin right through the front door of the Christmas tree.
He did. Ernest, he's a force of nature. He will not be denied.
And he's got this big smile on his face. Hey, Vern, how you doing? He just barrels right.
That's so funny to me. Oh, America Christmas doors.
Hallelujah.
I thought this. Oh God. I thought this Vern was a friend of yours. He's always pulling jokes.
I thought that girl did a really nice job.
She was fine, yeah.
Mugging to Vern as well.
Absolutely.
Can't remember her name. Was that Billie Eilish or something?
Her name is Noelle Parker.
Oh wait,
Harmony Star was the name of the thing, but
got her inspiration
from this character,
Harmony Star.
I honestly, is Vanellope von Schweet. She has like the hairdo and the things in her hair, just like the character from Wreck-It Ralph.
Absolutely, she's very much Vanellope von Schweetz.
So he goes out to get his bolt.
Punky Brewster.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one too, Brady. For a lot of our younger.
That's what my wife said, Brady. That's funny that you mentioned that, Punky Brewster.
Yeah. On his way out to get the bolt cutters, he looks inside the sack that's in his car. So Santa's sack has been accidentally left in his truck or car, and he realizes that this actually was Santa Claus, and this is where he kind of goes on mission to find Santa, right? He goes, you don't understand. Do you know what this means? We have his sack. They can't have Christmas if we don't get this back to Santa Claus. Do you know what this means? The end of Christmas on this planet as we know it.
Clint is not having fun.
Clint is not having fun at all.
I'm telling you, man, every time he busts into serious voice, it's comedy gold.
Yes. You are telling me that.
Yes.
You've said it a few times.
I'm going to say it about 16 more times, too. Santa has now been thrown in prison for vagrancy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he was
concealing his
running
identity.
around, an old man saying he was Santa Claus, and he lost his sack.
No, I don't fault them. I mean, I think I
Come
understand.
on. Out of
They
context?
wouldn't put him in general population big holding cell like that with actual criminals either if they just think that he's a dementia having old man who, doesn't know who he is or is deluded enough to actually think he's Santa Claus.
But then getting all of the prisoners to do the beautiful
Yeah,
Christmas
I
song?
understand.
This is a trope.
I mean,
I
come on.
understand that movies are not real.
What's the trope, Brady?
Of throwing a bunch of people into jail near Christmas or any holiday.
Oh, 100%. And what's insane about this thing, when they go into the prison cell, okay, forget the fact that there's 47 prisoners in this one cell.
And the walls are decorated with...
But there's a framed cowboy picture.
Yeah.
A framed cowboy picture.
Yeah.
Another picture of a cartoon like Flasher Santa.
Yeah.
And a dude in a crop top that says, I eat 'em raw on it.
Yeah.
God bless that man. God bless that man.
Just don't pause
That's
and look
one
at
for
that
the
stuff.
adults there.
Yeah, I never looked at it when I was a kid, and so I paused it for a second just to take in this. It's not like any jail cell I've ever seen in a movie. I've never been in any, but they've never, as it's ever been portrayed. But yeah, he eventually gets them singing the 12 Days of Christmas, and somebody down the hallway has a beautiful voice.
Oh, I'm sure there's.
And a partridge in a pear
What do you think he uses? What else do you think he uses that voice for?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, but
he's worth at least 2 packs of smokes.
2 packs of smokes.
My goodness.
And a half a bar of soap.
Yep.
Thus begins and you wouldn't know this because you've only seen this one Ernest movie.
I think Clint's dead inside right now.
We're gonna ignite a love for Ernest in his heart.
We're gonna try. We're trying here.
This starts a running thing with Ernest that carries into future movies. He did not really do this in Ernest Goes to Camp, but what they do to get him out of prison is he dresses up as a disguise, right? He's Clemeth and the governor's niece Mindy.
Yeah.
And then he does it a few more times in this movie, but then also in Jail and Scared Stupid, it becomes a new thing for Ernest. These different characters he plays within the movie.
The old lady's the best.
But Clemeth is the first time he really does that, right?
Yeah.
We are here because we are investigating, what's the report his niece has to do? How government really works. And now, is it plausible that they're able to walk straight into the jail cell and get Santa Claus and then say that he's personally going to take him to the padded potty room?
Possibly.
I don't think so.
That's where they eat him raw.
But what does that really matter in an Ernest movie?
It doesn't.
No.
They can't have him go in and, rip down jail cells or blow holes in the wall or go in there shooting, No, they have to do something.
That would be...
But I thought Harmony's performance as Mindy, the niece, was hilarious.
Yes, it was, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
She also made my top 3.
All right.
The vehicles.
Awesome. But he does have his great line as he's, the whole indignant thing that he's, I can't believe, the governor's, going to be furious, and he's getting them all out of there. He turns back and he goes, the governor will make a throw rug out of this man's chest hair.
Yes.
Pulls a chest hair off of the guy's. So the next disguise, they get Santa out of jail, and now they're got to find Joe, right?
Yes.
And so the only way to find Joe is to find Marty. And so, did you like the second costume he was in?
Their stairs might have been Mount Everest.
This old woman was popular and would come back in many movies.
Yes.
But
the neck brace.
The neck brace
always killed me.
Old lady is phenomenal. And he does this thing where he presses his face down into the neck brace so that the rest of his face folds up and looks all wrinkled. It's fantastic. He says at one point, I need him to help me with my will. Since I had to walk from the airport, I'll be dead soon. Every line that comes out of this woman's mouth is a banger. Okay?
It is.
Every single one.
It is. We haven't convinced Clint yet, though. We're chipping down. We're chipping at the concrete.
At what point? He don't side with him, honey. There's no future in it.
And then the good son
dies. Nothing will destroy my love for Ernest P Worrell because
I don't intend to bring your guys' love.
Oh, I know you're not. I didn't.
It's okay. I'm here to have my mind changed.
Yes.
We are not doing a good job.
To me, it's like Ernest isn't quite a redneck. He's not quite a hillbilly.
Yeah.
But he brings the qualities of that. Plus, he's doing Shakespeare the entire time.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
That's another great way of putting it. And he's actually a classically trained actor, Jim Varney, who has done a lot of Shakespeare and those types of things. And so that's why I feel like Ernest is elevated from maybe what you'd see Larry the Cable Guy do in any of his shticky movies.
That guy's funny.
Right?
That guy is funny.
He is funny.
Who's kind of doing, his whole redneck thing. But Ernest, there was something, I don't know how to say it because I'm not very smart, but it's just more talent behind it than what Larry's doing his shtick, and that's fine.
That's my issue with it is I can't decipher through the layers.
And it's made Larry a lot of money, but Ernest has got a unknown quality that I can't put my finger on that just sets him apart. And I think it's just, natural comedic talent. The next costume so right after this, then they find where Marty is, so they find where Joe is, and so he immediately is in a third costume, which is the snake guy,
which is my favorite.
That's your favorite one?
Oh, absolutely.
They're wearing those bottoms. They get all tied up. It gets hot. Snap.
You do that really
You
well.
are way funnier than he was.
Best part, that was exactly what Ernest did.
Yes.
What do you mean he's funnier?
I don't know. There was no funny about it.
We got to get them all riled up. He just starts doing the
broom into because he's trying to sneak Santa in.
Right.
I gave one to my boy.
What'd you say, Brady?
It's poison.
That's right.
Poison.
I gave one to my boy, and he takes his hat off, and he's my dear boy. And he starts singing this song as he drives away. Oh my gosh! This is where the horror movie folk be.
I need the python.
That's right. The guy
It is
can
such
do
a great
anything.
voice. And what didn't he also play in Beverly Hillbillies? As,
He was Jed Clampett.
Jed Clampett. Yeah. So
in
this
Beverly
is like
Hillbillies.
a pre-Jed Clampett.
Perfect casting there for that as well.
Yeah.
But they Santa gets into the movie studio and they're shooting this movie called Christmas Sleigh.
Yes.
Okay. Which the joke is that it's sleigh, not sleigh. Right.
Wasn't that actually a movie? Did somebody actually make Christmas Sleigh or something very similar? Because I remember Sleigh was being
Santa's
used.
Sleigh with Bill Goldberg.
That's what it was. The Bill Goldberg. Yep. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
No problem.
If it was a wrestling reference, I knew you would get it.
The guy is in a horror movie and there's cursing and there's violence and he's this, it's like if they had put Mr. Rogers into a horror film, which I get why the movie producers would want to do that because it plays against type. It draws interest to your movie. Oh, we get to go see, this guy do things he doesn't normally do on his children's television show.
So the monster was the Swamp Thing with Christmas decorations on it.
It just looked like circuit boards and Christmas lights.
So all they have to do is throw water on them, electrocute them.
Yeah, that was not great. Okay. In general, the movie
For a PG movie, it was perfect.
No, but I mean the movie set and the guy's directing style. You go over to the door. What's out there? Is it Santa? Maybe it's you're bubbling over with Christmas spirit.
Kris Kringle's out there.
Kris Kringle's. I'm like, shut up.
I'm glad he got punched in the face.
I was so thrilled when Santa punched him. This guy, he's like, like Santa sleigh, and he's got this weird look on his face while he's trying to explain it to him.
God.
Sleigh. Slay.
Yeah. It's about fighting aliens from outer space.
I just see you in sometimes. Sometimes you've been directing. Come on.
As somebody who's directed films before, that scene really bothered me.
Yeah, that.
First of all, I was like, shut up.
Close to the chest.
Let them do the scene. Shut up. How are you going to ADR? You're going to have to ADR all of this because you won't shut up. It's bad. It's bad. That was the worst part of the movie.
He gave directors a bad look.
That's right.
He gave the directors a black eye.
In this case, you're right. Santa, you know how much of a D-bag you got to be to get punched by Santa Claus?
The agent didn't even get punched by Santa Claus.
That guy threw him in jail. Santa Claus forgives everybody. Santa Claus was like,
except for directors.
Yeah, except for
he was like,
directors,
you're
they
catching one straight to the grill.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
To be
directors
fair,
should be punched to the face. Go ahead, Brady.
To be fair, this guy is shooting like a B movie in Florida, so he's not very good at anything really.
He thought this was going to be his big break. This actually goes into a scene which I think is, we'll call it Exhibit A for proof that Douglas Seal gave an incredible performance in this movie. In a movie where people Ernest doesn't. I mean, everything is so heightened and crazy. You can't be like, what an incredible acting performance from Jim Varney. It's an excellent comedic performance. But in the middle of this movie, Doug Seal had no business delivering this fantastic portrayal of Santa Claus.
Yes.
In what was essentially a silly cartoon movie. But this scene where he has this heartfelt talk with Joe pitch perfect.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance, and you probably never will, go back and watch specifically this scene. It almost belongs in a different movie.
It does.
Some of these scenes with him, right? Where I typed the line out. The word he says, he's explaining it to him. He says, it's a torch that I carried for a while and then passed on, right? And if it's not passed on, the flame flickers and dies. And he's doing this with such emotion and he's like, carried this torch for more seasons than I should have done because I loved it so much.
And I believe that that's some of what I take issue with in the movie is legitimately is like there's parts of it that are 100% serious. There are parts of it that are trying so hard to be funny that they've missed the point. And like it's just gobbled together both ends of the same spectrum, and it just doesn't work for me. I think again, if I came into it younger, because I legitimately, and I'm going to skip forward a little bit here, I legitimately came into this movie. I remember seeing the trailer for it and the air brakes comment, coming barreling down at 1 million, air brakes.
Yeah.
That made me laugh in the trailer, and I wanted to see it, and wasn't allowed to. We didn't go see the thing ever. Right. So I never saw it, and then now having watched it is like, wow, miss.
It is a weird tone that they're trying. I personally think it works, but it is a weird tone that they're trying to strike between the two extremes.
The story is good. I mean, it could be absolutely made either dramatically or as a comedy, 100%. Yeah. But
and then the drama, I think, is well delivered by Doug Seal. I mean, he wraps up that whole scene. He says, now I've taken to making notes, and it shouldn't be done that way. It can't be done that way.
It can't be done that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could tell he's really sad to pass it on because he loves being Santa Claus.
And it hits on another note as we all get older and we want to keep doing the things that we love to do.
Yeah.
But then ultimately we have to give up on some stuff just because of things. It's like even Santa Claus has to do that.
Yeah.
Which kind of hits hard
It's
sometimes.
poignant.
Yeah.
Scenes like this are what, keep the movie magical, right? I mean, a good Christmas movie should have some Christmas magic. This is why I did not like Jingle All the Way. And this is why I do like this movie.
Love you, Brady.
I love you too.
No, I agree, man. I think this type of thing is what keeps it from being a throwaway Christmas movie, and the reason we go back to it, over and over again. Yeah. So as we start barreling towards the end game here, Pamela decides to steal the sack from Santa Claus because she's, in
brilliant fashion by mine.
Yeah, with a feather stuffed sack, and it was a pretty good bait and switch.
With the feathers just flying everywhere, and like no one can tell that it's feathers.
Right, and so he brings the sack to Joe's house to convince him for the last time to be Santa Claus, and he goes, "Well, it's just feathers." Like it's kind of proof that it's still a crazy old man. To Joe, right? And you can tell right when Santa picks it up and puts it over his shoulder, he knows immediately. And he just looks very disappointed because he trusted this girl. But Joe turns him down, right? And says, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. And right at this point, Ernest is at the airport picking up the reindeer, and the elves show up to help him, right?
Yep.
But he pops the tires, which leads to, in my estimation, the best part of the entire movie, which is the flight.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
In one particular moment, I don't know if you want to touch on it now.
Yeah.
Or the one moment I remember as a child that we had stopped, because this is on VHS at the time.
Yes.
We had stopped, rewound it.
I hope it's the same thing I'm talking about.
Over and over and over, and we would just die laughing. Was when he went to the toll booth.
Yes, every time I would rewind the same part.
Jesus, I mean, it was just the oh, Merry Christmas,
dude. Same.
That part of that tape out.
Same.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. I don't know why it's so funny. The way they shot it, or however he did it. Just the fact that he rips through the toll booth and says that to him.
Again, it really says a lot about how much he loves Christmas, and and I think he was, he's driving the sleigh and he's freaking out, but he had to pass the toll attendant, and he's like, I can't show my weakness, I can't show that I'm just. Yeah. He's like, ho, Merry Christmas, and he's just gone.
Yes,
it's like he had to put on that Santa Claus facade for just that split second. to not let that person think anything else.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And that scene in general is shot with energy. It's frenetic. It's snappy. There's a sense of flight and danger to knowing they didn't actually fly the thing. They did it really well.
I think they shot it really well.
Yeah.
How the camera angles and how they basically shot it from straight down.
Yeah.
And then they all leaned back, which gave the perspective of it was taking a nosedive. Just simple camera tricks.
That's all that was. And then energy from the actor, right? You get a guy like Ernest who's he's at 11, right? Yeah. I need oxygen. And he's throwing an oxygen mask on. He's shouting, we're all going to die.
It's the power of cocaine.
I was waiting to see how long. I legitimately, this was shot in 80s in Florida. How long are we going to be until Bob mentions cocaine?
This might be the deepest we've gotten into
I literally thought when everybody's talking about how sweaty everybody is that he was going for it. He just missed it.
That's why you get hate mail.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep sending me
From
hate
me.
mail.
I do love, this is another example is
Nobody yet.
Ernest being, overly dramatic at the wrong times is when they're right before they are going to take off and he's trying to get the reindeer to go before he says, may the force be with you and everything else to try and get these things to go.
On Dancer,
he
on
says,
Pickles or something.
He says, it's time to do what we got to do. It's time to slip the surly bonds of earth and dance the skies on laughter's silvered wings.
Yeah.
Who says that?
Ernest.
That's what I'm saying. It's 100% specifically an Ernest P Worrell thing to do, right?
That's him going back on his classically trained Shakespeare.
Right. Like Brady said, he's playing Shakespeare in an Ernest movie.
Yeah.
And he's introducing high drama into these ridiculously stupid situations.
Yeah.
Right.
I love the Wrinkled Elves.
I thought elves didn't age.
Yeah, I don't know. They found the two oldest people they could to play these elves.
Yeah.
Heroin's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
What were the who were the actors and actresses for the elves?
I don't have their names. No, because in fact, I had a generally hard time on IMDb last night because almost nobody's picture is in this cast.
Oh,
right, because there's so few people that did anything else.
Buddy Douglas plays Pyramus the elf, and then Patty Maloney plays Thisbe the elf. So I'm guessing those are the two.
Those two are on there. But I was looking up some of the, smaller bit players, and like the guy who played the movie director.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because the titles, the characters' names don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And then there's all these blank pictures. So it's hard to find anybody's name for this movie, besides the top, six or seven people. Yeah. So Pamela, this entire time that Ernest is flying around, it's at the train station. She's going to go to Miami, but she overhears this kid and her and her brother arguing about Santa Claus and has a change of heart. Right. Mm-hmm. Right around that same time, Santa is talking to Mary on the bench, this nice old lady from the Children's Museum.
And Home Alone.
Yeah. And has this another really poignant scene where he's talking about this smart little girl and he wonders what happened to her along the way. And is there any of that little girl left? To me, I was like, okay, as I was watching it last night, I was like, this is the heart of the movie.
I feel like he blamed himself too for it because he brought her the wrong gift at one point.
Right. He says, ever since I brought you a doll instead of a baseball mitt, we've had an issue, haven't we, Pamela? And that's the first time he calls her by her real name.
Right.
Because she's been going by Harmony Star this whole time. And then he has this moment, with Mary about whether or not there's any of that little girl left. And I feel like this is what this movie's about. This is the heart of this movie. It's like, we get the laughs, some Ernest trying to save Christmas and all this stuff, but the movie is really about Pamela and her, being restored to her former name and her former life and going back home with her parents. This is the heart of the movie.
To being a believer.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
This is what the movie is really about. Yeah. Is this plot line here?
Yeah, the little girl in the train station with because she came to that girl's rescue and said, "Oh, if Santa is real, because I have a sack," and she's like, "If you have Santa's sack, then why? If that's Santa's sack, why do you have it?"
Yeah,
that was such a great way of getting her to realize.
What she's doing is wrong.
What she's doing is wrong.
It really was. Well done.
A great, well written, well set up. Little nugget.
Absolutely.
I say in general, the plot was well done as far as like from start to finish, the whole thing with the side action. I just didn't really care for the comedy.
You just don't get Ernest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not, like I said, it was
I'm not at all knocking
taste.
that at all. It wasn't I was expecting such high humor because I wanted to see this.
Yeah.
And it's just so barely under the surface at anything.
Don't watch any more Ernest movies.
I won't.
Go back, watch some of the commercial compilations.
Get a feel for them.
You get little nuggets. You may kind of start to understand what he can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by going back to there, because some of those commercials are absolutely hilarious. Especially there's one with a toaster in it, and he puts his hand in a toaster.
That's true.
He gets electrocuted.
That's a good one.
That's one of the best ones.
Have you ever heard of a character like doing multiple commercials for different brands?
No.
I mean, he's the only one that really has ever done it.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
That's what I'm saying. It's nothing that ever happened. He was the original viral star. He literally caught on, and just everyone kept going crazy and crazy for him.
It's amazing to see some of the products that he is advertising,
Right.
And like the old labels and such.
Oh, yeah.
The old like the old version cans and the way Sprite used to look, and and Mellow Yellow used to look, and a lot of the stuff like that. Just it's a little nostalgic as well.
The movie wraps up on essentially one of my favorite jokes in the entire movie, where it cuts back. Joe has finally decided to be Santa Claus because he sees him through the window, and he comes back, and they turn him into Santa with a handshake, and he says, "All right, now where's the sleigh?" And he's like, "Well, I thought you guys had the sleigh." Cut to Ernest rotating the earth.
Like Superman. Which one was that?
That's what I'm saying. Superman 2.
Superman 2.
Or Superman 1. Superman 1, where he reverses time to undo the earthquake.
Jump to hyperdrive.
Jump to hyperdrive. And he's, like you said, leaning back, full, and then it just dead stops.
Nobody move. Nobody make a sound.
Nobody dies.
Nobody dies.
And then they'll just like start falling.
Spaceballs. When they're just like,
right.
My brains are going into my feet. The type of moment.
Dead stop from space.
Yep.
Air brakes. Which is like the final little button on it. And of course, Santa is able to leave. That clock was on 6:59 for about 5 minutes.
It was.
He broke the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
He stopped
I think
time.
Santa was stopping time there for a minute. And
It's like the NFL.
That's exactly right. And off they go, and he lets Ernest and Pamela ride with him on this night, and off they ride into the distance. And that was Ernest Saves Christmas. And so now it's an opportunity for us. If there's something on your notes, something in your sheets, a line of dialogue, a little thing, this is the segment because it's called The Little Things. Any little things from this movie that just stood out to you that you loved or hated?
Go ahead, Clint. You can start.
Honestly,
then Brady's next.
I totally love that 72 Ford pickup. Ernest truck is awesome. I just dig that thing in general.
Yeah.
Run down, working perfect, but like there it is.
The snake truck?
That was his ride,
Yeah.
Do we really need the scene where Joe shaves?
No, not at all.
That was so disturbing. It's just like, who's this guy? If they didn't tell us, I wouldn't have known.
I loved how much butter Ernest keeps on hand. When he's making the pancakes, he's got a bowl this big.
Just butter. And he puts his hands down on the skillet. I like a lot. My mind wants lots of butter.
Who keeps that much butter just open in a bowl? It was enormous.
Canadians.
People from Orlando.
He was obviously there for that joke.
Well, right, but it just was shocking how much butter there was in a bowl right there.
I don't know if it's little things, but just like I said, the pancakes.
Yes.
It's funny because you had the butter.
Yes.
Mine was the pancakes. My kids really thought that was funny.
They just never came down?
Yeah, the fact that he was flipping them up, but yet not acknowledging the fact that they're not coming down. And he's all over the kitchen flipping them, and then they all come down at once.
Yes.
My kids actually found that funny.
Awesome.
Like they were,
they're probably your age. Well, I mean, how old's your oldest?
10.
Yeah, right. That's about how old I was, I think, when I saw this movie. I also love how Bobby sprays the hoof with the fire extinguisher when it breaks through the. You're like, that's, just perfect for me. Did you have anything before I
Driving down the interstate in reverse.
in reverse? Yeah.
I think because just you would love to do that.
I would. I just think it was hilarious.
That sounds painful.
And just a little nod to it being 1988 that the businessman wanted a CD player for Christmas.
Yep.
Love that. Love those little back in time moments. So it's time then, as we always do every week, to give some awards out to Ernest Saves Christmas. No award we could give would live up to the reward Ernest already had in getting to ride on the sleigh and getting to save Christmas. But we're going to give some secondary awards to the man and the movie. And so we always start off with the Will Patton Award for intensity among one of the supporting characters. So who would you guys say is your Will Patton Award winner in Ernest Saves Christmas?
Cat.
Ooh. All right, we'll go one at a time.
Yeah. The cat in the cab. I truly believe he was scared stiff.
Oh, the guy.
That dude.
The sweaty guy.
Yeah, sweaty dude.
Okay, fair enough.
Bob?
Chuck.
Chuck. Oh, Chuck.
Yeah.
They never say his name, so I always forget for a second who that is. But yes, Gaylord Sartain.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Who is the girl's name?
Noelle Parker.
Yeah.
I think.
I think Noelle did a fantastic job. Well, I don't know. Will Patton is over the top, though.
It's not necessarily over the top. It's just fully in.
Yeah, like
100%
into it, but a smaller role.
intense.
Small port killing it.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, I retract. I would say the agent.
Okay, Marty. Yeah,
Yes.
he was fully
He
in.
was full douchebaggery.
He was
the
full
whole time.
douchebag.
He was. That's a good pick.
And it's not a huge role.
So Robert Lesser.
Robert Lesser.
Brady, who's your Will Patton Award winner?
I think Joe's got it right. I mean,
Of course.
we all
he
hate
probably
that guy,
does.
but we're supposed to hate that guy.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we're going to have a split vote for the first time in a while, at least, because I voted for Gaylord Sartain as well, which was Chuck. And so there's 2 votes for Chuck, two votes for Marty, and a vote for the cab guy. So we'll have a split winner between Robert Lesser and Gaylord Sartain for our Will Patton Award winner. Congratulations, guys.
I will allow it.
Thank you. Our Trash Can Full of Dirt Award is an award that we give out every movie to someone whose basically acting level was at a trash can full of dirt and, whose part could have been played by a trash can full of dirt in this movie. Brady, do you have yours?
Clint should go last.
Oh, well, this is the person I have in mind. It looked like they were trying.
Well, that doesn't trying. Sometimes you just don't get there.
I don't want to, but new Santa Joe.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. That's a fair choice. Oliver Clark.
I'm in agreement.
Clint says Oliver Clark as well.
Could have been, Wish.com.
Wish.com Santa?
Wish.com.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
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 It never gets old. They always stay new. Those 3 little words, please and thank you.
Yeah. No, that guy.
It's better when Ernest does it.
That guy sucks.
Out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ernest would have been the better children's host.
He would have been.
Definitely.
I think he would have been a better Santa. But
Are you saying Joe also?
Yeah, I'm saying Joel as well. I did not. He was.
This one's in the bag, but we still want to find out.
What about Bob?
What about Bob?
What about Bob?
The girl
Baby
at
steps, Bob.
the girl at the train station.
Oh,
The little kid at the train station.
What?
Her part was pivotal.
Why did you have it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you were not captivated by.
No, she sucked.
Oh my gosh.
Her face pissed me off.
So
That poor
We're
girl.
going to find out what she ended up doing with her life.
yeah.
Not acting.
No, yeah, that's for sure.
Don't give a crap. Backwoods of Kentucky for all I care.
Holy. So basically, what you're saying, Bob, is that the little her brother
Yes.
would have been better just having a conversation, trying to convince a trash can full of dirt that Santa didn't exist.
Yeah.
She had the emotional range of a trash can full
was
of
that
shit.
what it
The
was?
emotional range of a snail entering a turd.
She's
go.
like 5.
Not my problem.
Yeah. There are other 5-year-olds in movies
That was
Crush it.
somebody's kid.
Was.
Yeah.
Put in there.
Hey,
Yeah, you hate this little girl more than Jake Lloyd. That's
Really, really late term there.
I don't know the guy's name because I couldn't find it. But the guy that played the movie director was
Oh, yeah.
not because he wasn't trying because he was clearly trying, but his acting level.
You took offense to it. That's what it was.
His acting level was a pile of dirt level. He was bad.
He was terrible.
He's not supposed to act. He's a director.
He's supposed to, in this case, act like a director.
But he was a director in the movie.
He was an actor playing a director.
I know he's a director.
Not only is his directing,
he can't act.
Not only is his directing at the level of a trash can full of dirt.
Yeah, he directed the movie.
But his acting, so he's like a double winner to me. He's like 2 trash cans of dirt stacked on top of each other.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
It's like trash day.
Big trash can. It's like the trash can is full and people keep stacking stuff, but nobody sees that it's full to change the bag.
That's what he is.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean
everybody sees it, but chooses to pretend to not.
Exactly. Right. Thank you. And Oliver Clark is still the winner.
Thank you, Kelly Bush, for taking care of all the things that need taken care of in my life.
The guy that played Joe was our winner of the Trash Can Full of Dirt award. And so now we have to give our top 3 performances. So we'll go in reverse order. We'll start with Clint because I think Brady went first last time, and we'll go around this way. Clint, who are your top 3 performers?
Top 3 performers. Number 3 is going to be a combined effort from the 72 Ford pickup and the 85, 86 Chevy Caprice cab.
Yes.
They did a fantastic job in helping this movie forward from scene to scene.
It moved the characters along.
Right.
It did, literally.
I'm going to go with Santa Claus. I think
Okay.
I really liked Santa Claus,
Doug
and
Seal.
I liked the little girl, actually. Her arc back from total non-believer to believer. I think that those parts, again, but I think the movie would have actually played better for me in a serious movie.
All right, Noel Parker then gets your number 1 spot.
Yep.
Joe.
Number 1, you
Agree
can't
with
be.
me.
Oh my gosh. You literally pulled a blade out. Okay, listen.
What's that?
What
is that?
We got to cut Ernest from the top 3. He cannot possibly be in anybody's top 3.
Bro,
Don't you tell me.
you've got to
care if you're threatening
You've
me
got to
with a knife.
develop an appreciation for Jim Varney and Ernest P Worrell.
All right, I'm leaving. You won't agree with me? I'm leaving.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Really? It wasn't that bad of a movie, Clint.
It wasn't that great of a movie.
Clint.
You're literally walking out.
Clint, come back.
I can't even finish.
You're done now.
It's all right.
He committed to his role, at least. That's good.
Did he
Commit to the bit.
He just left.
Literally just walk out?
Yeah, he did. He really hates Ernest. You know
Holy
what?
cow.
It's you know what? I appreciate that he has a strong opinion
Yeah.
and that he's willing to back it up.
I hope he falls down the stairs.
No, we don't. We love Clint.
Anyways.
Anyway,
I'm going to pick my top 3.
What's your top 3, Joe?
And number 1 is Ernest P Worrell. And then Santa Claus.
Yes.
And then Noel.
Okay. Fair enough. That's
Top 3 people.
perfect.
Top 3 spots.
Bob?
Number 1, Ernest.
Yeah.
Good.
Number 2, Snake Ernest. Number 3, Old Lady Ernest.
All right.
Yes. Again, I will not disagree with that
I don't understand how you can't. It's just got to be an issue.
Knot it up.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just got to be an issue of age. Like, it's got to be when he saw it as opposed to when we saw it. That's the only thing I could think of.
We tried, though. We tried to convince him.
We tried.
But-
To me, the joy is infectious.
Yeah. What is your top 3, by the way, James? I don't think.
Well, we're gonna give Brady, and then I'll give mine.
Oh, yeah.
Special mention to Chuck and Bobby.
Yes.
They're not going to make. They're number 4.
Okay.
How's that?
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
But I love Chuck and Bobby. But yeah, my list is pretty much the same as everybody else's. It's I'm going to put the girl at number 3, Santa at number 2, and Ernest, of course, at number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Ernest's movie.
It is, and I'm not going to argue with anybody that puts Ernest at number 1. I had him at number 2, not because I don't love his performance here. It carries the movie, obviously, but I was just, upon rewatching it now as an adult, I was so impressed with Douglas Seal and his. I mean, you're talking about acting as telling the truth, and I believed every single word he said.
This
And-
was his second time playing Santa.
Yeah.
There used to be that little show, Amazing Stories, and he was like a little few minute shows that they had and such, and he actually played Santa once before.
He did, and he did it really well.
Even on that one too.
And he did, and so I gave Douglas Seal my number 1 spot. I was so impressed with that performance that almost like I didn't even notice it when I was a kid. And this time it really stuck out to me. But then Ernest, but I won't argue with anybody else that has it flipped. But then I had Ernest number 2, and then actually had Gaylord Sartain Chuck at number 3. I was going back and forth between him and the girl who I both thought were good. But Chuck was just so effortless and natural in everything that he did. And there was lots of little tiny things about his performance, the way he acted with his eyeballs. And I'm not talking about the over-the-top back and forth thing that he would do, but just in general, he used all his tools, and it was really, really good.
Him sitting in the chair, behind the desk, talking to animal control.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word.
Right.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's able to do a lot.
Toothpick, and he's just like,
yeah.
He kind of points up with his pinky first.
Yeah.
You know, that,
He's able to do a lot with a little, didn't say a word. So I think I know how Clint would answer this question, but I want to ask the rest of you, because I think, is Ernest Saves Christmas a bad movie that rules, or just a straight up good movie? What do you guys think?
It is, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I think it's a bad movie that rules.
Okay.
Because I do understand that Ernest is an acquired taste.
Perfectly valid.
Because of that, I can't say it is a great movie.
Yeah.
For me, it's a great movie. But again, it's very subjective on how you take Ernest.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Yes.
And if yours is different, Bob, I'm going to pull a knife on you.
Apparently, this is...
Yeah, I got a knife pulled on me today.
It's getting heated in here. We had a
Christmas spirit.
A tough argument a couple of episodes ago, and now we get people pulling knives. It's just crazy.
Man.
You had a knife pulled on you?
Yeah. Just now you didn't see it. Literally happened right in front of you.
He pulled a box knife out on me.
Wow.
There was a water bottle blocking the way.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
I don't want to see this show turn into like WWE.
I've already broken one chair. We can't break any more chairs in here.
I'll body slam Bob onto this table.
Oh my God, he put him through the table.
Oh God. It's great.
All right. What do you got, Bob?
What the smart, educated guy said.
Okay. So you agree with him?
With Clint?
No, with you.
Oh.
You spoke very nicely.
I think Clint would probably say this is just a bad movie. Full stop. Full stop. Brady, what do you think?
It doesn't matter what you think.
That's a WWE.
You can't see me.
Nice.
Sorry.
High five.
The thing about it is, like, this is a movie for kids, right?
Yes.
There's not a whole lot of movie for kids that you can go, oh, that's a great movie.
Right.
So it ends up being a bad movie that rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, my heart wants to answer this question by saying this is just a straight up good movie, but I think that I'm biased.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know that necessarily would be a widely held opinion, because Clint, having never seen it, felt that way. The people that we tried to put this on in front of last night all wanted to leave the room, right? Other than a couple.
My kids liked
Your
it.
kids
My
liked
wife
it.
wasn't all that pleased with it.
So it probably is a bad movie that is enjoyable to a certain group of people.
Yeah.
If we're being honest. So I think it's a straight up good movie, but it's probably a bad movie that rules. So I think we're all in agreement there.
And that's why it fits so nicely in our little podcast. Even though we're showing it the love, and typically we're not so generous with our affections, but
I think this is one that perfectly fits, though.
Yeah.
We talk about the name of the show is Bad Movies Rule, and it's rated poorly on every website that rates movies.
Yep.
And I think we're here to say this is a bad movie that rules.
Yeah.
Give it another chance.
We give websites too much power.
Well, no one should give us any power. All right, so would Arnold Schwarzenegger have made this movie any better?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Hold on. As Joe. Yes.
Yep.
If Santa Claus had came and goes, I have to pass the mantle of Santa Claus, and like, who's gonna be the Santa Claus? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
The actor, the actual like playing himself.
Yeah.
Is the new Santa.
Remember Arnold with the puppets and such. This is
That's right.
pterodactyl.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's
on.
not a tumor.
Imagine he would have rolled up on an actual movie set. Arnold's making Christmas Sleigh, but like a high budget action movie version of Christmas Sleigh.
Arnold rips his shirt off.
Right.
Pulls out the pistol.
That's right. If it bleeds. Right. And like,
yes.
But then perfect.
And it was the alien.
It was just come through the door. You picked the wrong holiday. right? Or whatever. Like just some stupid catchphrase. It would have been perfect. Don't you think?
And then, then the director kept telling him, "Stop that! Don't ad lib."
Some movies should just not have Arnold in it.
Who do you think you
Bob,
are?
Arnold would have been perfect in this movie.
As Santa Claus?
As
Joe.
As Joe.
So you're saying like as an Ernest Arnold team up movie?
Yeah, so Ernest is still in it.
Okay.
It's still Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yep.
Okay.
But the guy...
Everything's the same.
Yeah, everything's the same, except the guy that Santa is coming to pass the torch to is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, my God.
But the actual actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
So he'd be playing himself in a high-budget Christmas sleigh movie that he's having to show up and break onto set to get, to convince Arnold. At the end, Arnold shakes his hand and becomes Santa Claus, but his no sleeves.
It's no sleeve Santa Claus. Santa with muscles.
That's right. And he still has the big giant beard.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Right.
And it's not a sleigh. It's like a Corvette.
Yeah, that's right.
Or no, it's a Hummer.
Do you think that for one night we could have...
You think for one night we can have him drive? That is not... My muscles just can't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Except it'd be in California instead of Florida. That's right. That'd probably be the only difference. I'd change it to Hollywood. But I agree. I think it'd be awesome. Well, hey guys, this has been a fun episode. I want to say, if you've made it all the way to the end of an episode about Ernest Saves Christmas, I love you, whoever you are.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You're our favorite people. You've literally listened to this entire show about this movie, and you're still here. And, Christmas is next week. And so take that time, spend some time with your family. I hope you guys have a magical Christmas. I hope you guys...
And wonderful holidays.
Yeah, love the holidays as much as Ernest loves Christmas. Whatever it is you're doing, with whoever it is you're doing with, family, friends, get together with them. Have an awesome, awesome time. And, we're taking the first hiatus that we've ever taken on the show. We've released an episode every Friday for months since May.
Yeah.
And so next week, with Christmas falling on the weekend, there's not going to be an episode released that Friday. But we will be back the very next Friday after that in, I don't know what day that actually is, if we're into January by that following Friday or not. But we will be back in 2 weeks' time with our next episode, which is going to be Iron Eagle. Ooh. Was it a Top Gun knockoff? I think it was. I think this came out after Top Gun.
Yeah.
Right? It's with Lou Gossett Jr. and some other guy that I don't remember his name. and it's what I've been told by the people. So Charles Hewitt's coming back to join us. It's his favorite movie of all time. He acknowledges it's terrible.
Yeah.
From what he says, the first 10 minutes are incredible and the rest of it's trash. So I can't wait.
Of it.
I can't wait. I've never seen it. So
I won't be here for it.
I know you won't be here, but I think it's going to be fun. So join us in 2 weeks. In the meantime, on behalf of Brady Cox, Clint Bush, Joe Gorotowski, Bob Hauser, and me, James Hauser, happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
We should all be like Ernest and appreciate the little things.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Ho, ho, ho.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.